Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you are all doing well wherever and whenever you are when you decide to watch this. I felt called to come on here tonight to talk about the energies we've shifted into as a collective. So a lot of energy has left Aquarius to enter into Pisces. So the sun shifted into Pisces this week. We also have Mercury now in Pisces. We have Saturn in Pisces. We have Neptune in Pisces. And we also have the North Node in Pisces. So a lot of Piscean energy moving through the collective. And I wanted to touch on the main energy that's coming through. And it's that there is a lot of illusion moving through the collective, especially in smaller groups. I touched on at the beginning of the year that there would be secret groups starting to gather, maybe even some cults, and that is definitely taking part. So I wanted to come on here to remind you to practice discernment and to also trust your energetic field. The biggest way you can know that something is off is the way your energy responds to something. So if you can feel a tightening of your energetic field, maybe you feel unease in your gut, maybe you feel tightness in your chest, or you might even feel the block taking place in your throat, where it's difficult for you to communicate and actually express your truth. These are key signs coming from your body that the environment you are in is not energetically safe for you. So as we move through Pisces energy this season, it's really important to pay attention to that. It is very easy to ignore the warning signals that our body is giving us because Pisces can also want to people please. So very similar to Libra energy, we can tend to slip back into people pleasing tendencies and not want to ruffle feathers or rock the boat. So we decide to just keep our mouth shut and maybe not ring the alarm on something that makes us feel uneasy, uncomfortable, or pulls us out of our energetic center. So during these transits, it's really important for us to slow down. As much as that might be difficult, especially if we're feeling pressured by people or groups and stuff like that, taking a moment to take a breath, reconnect with your heart is going to be very supportive for you at this time. And it's understanding that we are now in a water season. Pisces is represented by water, and water ebbs and flows. It can rush when it needs to. We can think of waterfalls and rushing water, but it can also stand still and not even move. We can think of frozen water. We can think of ice. We can think of snow. So it's understanding that we need to be tuned in and really paying attention to our bodies and knowing how our energy wants to move during this season. In addition to this, our dream time is going to be very, very active. We're going to be receiving a lot of messages and downloads from the dream time, and the symbolism that's going to come through our dream time is going to give us the keys to understanding this current reality. So if you don't pay attention to your dreams or haven't started a dream journal yet, I do recommend it because you're going to start to see how your dreams give you the necessary guidance to move through your waking reality. Maybe you're facing a challenge at work, or maybe you're having a certain conflict with a specific person. Tuning into your dream time in order to receive the downloads and solutions during this time period is going to be very beneficial for you. In addition to that, we also need to pay attention to illusions. Where are we deluding ourselves, and where are others trying to delude us? So this circles back to really needing to be tapped into our discernment and our intuition. Our intuition is going to be at an all-time high, especially if we decide to tap into it, pay attention to it. But in order to sharpen our intuition, it starts with our body, paying attention to our energetic field. So those are the main messages that wanted to come through. And interestingly enough, I laid cards out today because I was taking some pictures, and this is a card that I happened to leave out, which is the Jackal, and it's card 44, which is really symbolic because the card for February is Weave the Future Golden by the Kuan Yin Oracle deck. And this card is also number 44. So we're having this reminder that February is a month where we are being called to strengthen our foundation. And this is a foundation strengthened upon intuition and psychic sense. If you really look at this card, you can really just feel the cosmic kind of energy radiating from it. So the main message that wants to come through right now is that we are sovereign individuals, especially when we are tuned into our hearts and anchored in our intuition and psychic abilities. This is what's going to propel us forward as we enter into the astrological New Year's, when we enter into Aries season in a couple weeks from now. So it's really important for us at this time to root in this foundation. And the key word here is root. When you think of roots, you don't see them. They are in darkness. They're in the ground. And this is the stability we were talking about. It's this psychic foundation that is not seen but felt. And this is the energy we're going to be called upon to really embody, integrate, and showcase during this time period, especially if people are trying to get a forced yes out of you to do something you really don't want to do. You're going to be encouraged to tap in, use your psychic abilities, discern, and if it's not the right environment for you, pull back your energy. Interestingly enough, again, with the cards I had left laid out, we have the Sacred Ibis. And this is card 22, which is another sacred master number. And it says learning. So on this card, we have two messages that want to come through. We have learning is the first one. So regardless of the outcome and how you decide to move over the upcoming weeks, the decisions you decide to make, this is going to be a huge learning opportunity for you. You are going to be sharpening and developing certain skills that maybe were a weak point for you. Maybe your intuition was good, but now it's going to become great. So really be open to the learning opportunities presented before you. The second message that wants to come through, I said two, has to do with the number 22. So we have another master number coming through here. And the number 22 is the number of the builder. So again, we're being called to build something during this month. And with the double 2 here, 2 usually symbolizes partnership. So you could be entering into a double partnership, which means you could enter into a partnership with someone on something and then maybe enter into a partnership with somebody else on another project, for example. We also have 2 ibises here with a door opening. So there's definitely a huge opportunity coming forward for you and another person, because this has to do with partnership and building something long-lasting and foundational to your well-being moving forward. And it's understanding, and I'm going to segue a little bit here because it's something I've noticed. People seem to forget that Pluto is in Aquarius. Pluto is the planet, I was going to say the family of death and destruction. That was interesting. And I was about to say it again, the family of death and destruction. Anyways, I think it has to do with, family of death and destruction. Okay, community of death and destruction, Aquarius. Okay, I get it now. Okay, so Pluto, being the planet of death, transformation, and destruction, is in Aquarius. And I find it interesting that this energy is alluding to the word family right now, because when we think of Aquarius, we usually think of a broader community, broader reach. But what really wants to come through right now is bringing forth a sense of family with different souls. So souls that you really feel comfortable and safe with, because this is what's really going to propel us forward as my right eye decides to start really itching out of nowhere. The way forward is community, whether we want to acknowledge this or not. And we need to realize that the path, the ideology that we need to do things by ourselves is ending. I was talking about this with a soul sister of mine the other day, and it's the remnants of Capricorn energy that we are moving through. Capricorn is the go-getter. They're ambitious. They're goal-oriented. They're climbing that mountain. And this energy is sacred and has its own time and place, but we've shifted from that. As a society, we've been conditioned to believe that we need to make it on our own. We've become very individualistic. But the future is community-based. It's soul tribe-based. So if you're still operating in this old, outdated way of being, it's going to collapse because Pluto is going to ensure its destruction. So you can either become conscious of this old programming within you and actively seek to dismantle it, or Pluto is going to have his way with you and just destroy it for you. So you might notice if you're still operating out of this conditioning, that things just explode, collapse. It's pure chaos. Things fall through. Contracts just seem to just fall into the void out of nowhere. And this is because this old system cannot exist anymore. We are in a new timeline as a collective, and it is the age of Aquarius. So we need to make peace as much as possible with this old, outdated Capricorn energy and embrace the future, which is community. Now, this brings me into two different kind of aspects of Piscean energy. So we used to be in the age of Pisces and we've moved into Aquarius. What does this mean? It doesn't mean that we've lost the sense of community, of oneness. It's more so that we're opening up to receive cosmic galactic downloads and remember our galactic heritage. This is the shift we are making. It's the shift from religion to spirituality, from humanness to galactic. And it's understanding that we need to make peace with this transition, understanding that it is going to be bringing up a lot for us. The next thing I wanted to touch on is the return to oneness in terms of consciousness, and understanding that we can still be our unique, authentic selves throughout this and not kind of blanket who we are in order to fit in. And I wanted to talk about the visual I got as I was tuning into this energy. And it's imagining a person with all the facets of who they are. Maybe they have an interest in cars. Maybe they work in high tech. Maybe they like to read sci-fi books, etc., etc. So it's understanding that as beings, we all have these facets. And we're going to find different people that complement a facet of us. Maybe we join a book club of people that are into sci-fi books. But it's understanding that the people we have joined this book club with might not completely understand, get, or be passionate about our job that's in high tech. Does that mean we're being inauthentic? No, it means we're multifaceted and we are embracing relations that mirror a certain facet to ourselves back. So all this to say, with the facets we carry, this means we also carry unique frequencies. So as much as Piscean energy is about oneness in terms of consciousness, it doesn't mean we become all the same. We still retain our authenticity, our uniqueness. We are able to respect one another and acknowledge that each and every one of us is sovereign in their own right. And that means we don't need to be best friends with everybody, because that's another illusion that Pisces can bring to the table, is the need to be friends with everybody. That is not authentic. You can fall into people pleasing, being like, you know what, I'm going to force myself to join this group or to share this or to do this. I don't really want to, but I'm going to do it anyways because people pleasing. No, that's not the energy we're in. That's disempowered Pisces energy. Empowered Pisces energy is the ability to say, you are a soul and I am a soul. I respect you and I respect me. I see you and I also see me. And it's understanding that we both show up in our sovereignty, completely in our power, realizing that we don't need to be best friends. We don't even need to be friends. And that can be hard for people to hear, especially if they're stuck in a people-pleasing cycle. But once you are secure and genuinely sovereign in your heart and in your being, you are completely okay with this. You are completely fine with being disliked by others, not being accepted, because you accept yourself and you like yourself. And that's the difference. That's the timeline we're going to be stepping into when it comes to empowered Pisces energy backed by Aquarian energy. It's radical, bold authenticity rooted in our own unique sovereignty. I'm just going to let that sink in for a moment. We're going to be mastering, learning what it really means to be rooted within the self this season. We might be challenged by distorted frequencies that seek to pull us out of our center, out of our temple, but our mission is to stay rooted and on our throne, not allow these frequencies that are not a harmonic match for us to pull us out. Our job is to witness them, see them incoming, and not partake. And with this, the final imagery I want to leave you with this evening is that of this snake. I was talking with a soul sister earlier today, and the visual I had as we were talking about distorted energies and frequencies was of a sovereign snake being attacked by distorted, messed up looking snakes. And the sovereign snake just reiterated its boundaries and its ground to dismiss and dispel these distorted snakes. So it's realizing that for us as a collective, this is exactly the energy we need to be mindful of. When you tune in energetically, when you are witnessing somebody, are their snakes grounded in sovereignty, or are they distorted by a shadow? And when you really tune in energetically and you take a moment to do so, you might actually notice that the person's aura has an off color. It might be gray or even black, which is not good at all. But this is to ensure that you remain aligned and upon your path, not allowing these frequencies to pull you out. So moving forward, really pay attention to the frequencies you surround yourself with. Again, circling back to my initial message, if you're feeling disruptions within your physical vessel, tune in and pay attention. They're guiding you away from energies not meant for you. So that's all I have for you this evening. Feel free to let me know how that resonates, what you are moving through during this Pisces season. I would absolutely love to hear from you. I'm sending you so much love.